Hey, hi Linda. Hi everybody.
Hi, Steve.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Here we are,
Hi,
Saturday
everybody.
night.
Thanks
Oh,
for
I'm
joining.
sorry. Your turn.
Oh, I said hi, everyone, and thanks for joining.
Yes. Well, we got a good show tonight. We got us a youngin' on tonight. How old is she? 13 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that a shame?
Phoebe
13.
Boufay.
Yeah. And where did that? Well, we'll ask Kat when we bring
Mhm.
Kat up in a second. So, but yeah, we got a good show and we got a good talking point. Very interesting one, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes. And yeah. Well, hi Elizabeth from Iowa. And and hi probably Nancy or Judy, whichever one's from GPRescue.org. Um, so let's
Mhm.
just get going here. We got us a young lady that two young ladies. Hi, Kat.
Hi,
Hello.
Kat.
Hey. Hi, Roman.
Roman.
Hey.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right. And this must be Phoebe. Phoebe Boufay. Where'd you get that name?
She's a little ditzy. She kind of earned her name. She's clueless. She spent a little too much time in a kennel and hadn't been socialized. She's getting better though. But she
Okay.
wasn't really smart girls at first, so we thought Phoebe Boufay. And now she's catching on, so we'll just call her Phoebe.
I'm
Wasn't
pretty
Phoebe
sure Phoebe Boufay comes from the show Friends.
the
Yes.
Friends character, the
Yes.
ditzy
The
blonde, huh?
ditzy blonde.
I have to disagree. I think she's brilliant. I think she's brilliant.
She's a good girl.
And yeah. So how was it she came into rescue, or her mom was in the medical field?
Yeah, her mom works at one of the hospitals here in Springfield, and she was working 12-hour days and needed somebody who could spend time with her dog, and she couldn't, so she decided to give her up so that she could get a better home.
Now that was a picture that she had sent to us while she still had her. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, a good-looking little girl there.
Yeah, she is.
Boy.
She's beautiful.
Now, obviously, she's probably not spayed yet, but when will she be ready for adoption?
She could be adopted right now. She's still working on some of her social skills. So if she was to have a house that had other dogs, they would have to be dogs that were a little bit patient with her, because she hasn't learned what her personal space is. And she
Because she's a puppy?
Because she's a puppy. She didn't have any socializing.
Oh, wow. Well, every time I turn around, you have a new dog, Kat.
She does.
So
I love it.
And I like Phoebe. That goes with Ross and Monica, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So wow. Now she's in Springfield, Missouri. Is that correct?
She's in Springfield, Missouri. I believe she's full-blooded Peer, but she does not have her double dues. I think they were taken off at birth.
Ah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, other than that, there's no reason to believe she's got anything else in her, is there?
She looks pure to me.
Nope, she's pretty pure. I mean, that's what the vet thought too.
She's pretty pure. Pretty pure. Okay, never mind.
She's a pretty pure peer.
That's it.
GPRescue.com. That's where everything's happening. Boy, oh boy. And
But she's a people pleaser. She will. She's really good. If you tell her that she's a good girl, she'll do just about anything to hear it.
all right. And I bet them needle teeth are something else, aren't they?
Oh, they're fun. We keep trying to put something else in her mouth all the time. She doesn't really if she's an opportunist. She doesn't go searching for things to chew on, but if something's in her way, she'll chew on it. But she hasn't chewed on or anything like that.
She's a puppy. Give her time. All right. Oh shit, she'll find stuff to chew on. Yeah, she's a spunky little girl, huh?
She's got a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
13 weeks. Yep, I bet she does.
She's pretty
Wow.
big for 13 weeks, though.
So she might be a bit. Oh, I saw that one. So Roman, what would you suggest for those needle teeth that stay away from human hands and arms?
I was like, my hand, I was like, no, keep it down. So, here's the thing. Puppies love to interact with their mouth. For the dogs, for the dogs, their mouth is like our hands, right?
Yeah.
And if we respond with our hands like they respond with their mouth, then we're giving them permission to mouth us in return.
There.
And speaking of permission, if you want to comment in the comments, then you want to give StreamYard permission to access your name so we can see who it is who asks questions.
Yes.
Okay. Plus, you can join later for the winning notes, right? No,
That's
here's
right.
quick things that we see. Let's cup shot. First of all, somebody said no to the puppy. What does actually no mean? Zero. It means nothing. It's kind of like part of barking. And what she does without knowing, actually, I know she just showed that so we can talk about it, is the puppy's mouthing her hand and she rewards the puppy with giving him something in his mouth. So it's kind of like a thing they're having on. And trust me, it happens all the time. So if you don't want your puppy to mouth you, then you have to be proactive and give him a toy before he starts mouthing.
Right.
Then we have the issue that puppies need to exercise their teeth. It's a survival tool, right? It's like you having a car, a toolbox, your home, your key for the garage, everything in one place in the dog's mouth. So for them to have educated and recognizing how to handle their hands and their tools, they need to exercise constantly, but not on your hands.
Mhm.
Right? So the first thing I would do if your dog puppy bites you is walk away from it. Let him know that this one made you go away. And your puppy's like, oh, oops, I screwed up. And then you come back with a solution. Hey, I got something to chew for you. How about that? And the puppy's like, oh, yeah. But, the puppy needs interaction and social engagement. So don't give him just a toy to deal with it, because the toy is just passive. Your hand is active. So it does rather go to your hand rather than with a toy, because the toy is dead, your hand is active.
So what? Give it a mouse?
No, you can interact with a toy. You can physically interact with a
Just
toy.
like that, right
and
there.
rewarding the puppy as he interacts with the toy. As soon as he grabs your hand, you stop the game, walk away, and come back later.
There you go.
Okay? There you go. And you can pet your dog while you do that. There you go. Perfect. But don't stop moving your hand, because see that game of interaction where the dog chooses to bite your hand makes you go away.
There you go.
What happens if you attack people? They go away.
Yeah.
Make sense? So
Yes, it does.
we teach the dog morals and ethics, right? As we play with the dog, without telling him anything, he gets so much information to deal for the rest of his life.
Yep.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, dogs and puppies have all these different type of needs. They have social needs, they have interactive needs, they have needs of exercise. So a game of tug of war and interactive and teaching your dog cues, for example, wait, and wait until you give you the toy. Okay, go get it. And then all of a sudden, you also touch not obedience, but compliance, which is basically the rules of the game. So if you bite me, I will stop, and I don't like to play with you. If you want me to go back, you want to sit. And that tells me that you're comfortable me coming back to you. Okay? And while she's playing with the puppy like that, everybody who feels the need that his puppy needs to bite his hands should give $1 to the puppy jar and see how much money you have by the end of the week.
And then we make a donation to the rescue with it.
Exactly. And guess what? We don't have other donations other than that.
Yeah. Because I'm just as bad as anybody else because she's a puppy. Okay.
Right.
But it gets into a habit after a little while. And,
Right. The other
and
thing that
puppy
happens, if
consistency
the
is
puppy
good.
gets consistent with biting, the way the puppy bites gives the dog the confidence. An confident puppy will double and triple snap at something. A puppy that's confident will hold on to it. So we want the puppy to be confident, to make a decision and take it and hold it until the game is over. And then we're going to teach him leave it, but that's in another session. So we can teach the puppy to leave it. All you have to do is show the puppy a treat. And as the puppy opens his mouth, you say, leave it. And you give him a reward for actually doing exactly what you just told him to do.
I love it. That puppy is very persistent.
Right?
She
Yeah.
is, and that's part of the problem.
No,
For
it's a breed trait.
That's a breed trait. Yes. That's a job for her maybe right now. Because she's
It's
too
just-
young to do the other job.
Yeah, she's struggling a little bit with, like I said, socializing with other dogs. She has not learned. They correct her and tell her to back off, and she doesn't always back off. So
She
they
doesn't
snap.
know, but you can teach her.
Yeah, she
Because
doesn't know.
If you're too pushy, the game will stop. If you're too pushy to the other ones, the game will stop. So you're the parent. It's your job to teach the puppy because the other dogs are not parents. They don't know how to parent the puppy, right?
Well, my female is pretty good at parenting puppies.
She has been, yeah. With the other puppies, yeah. This one here is a feisty one. Is this your most active one that you've had so far, Kat?
I would say yes.
Okay.
She has more energy than any of them. She doesn't do a lot. She sleeps through the night, but she doesn't sleep during the day. So it's on all day long, and then she'll sleep through the night, which is
There
good.
you go. There you go. So, human dad deals with her in daytime while you're at work, huh?
Yes.
Oh, good. That's a relief. GPRescue.com. That's where
He says he's got it 24/7. I said, then you're like any other stay-at-home mom.
yeah. Lori said that she's absolutely adorable.
She is. She's a good girl. It's
Yeah. And how much does she weigh right now?
37.5 pounds. Phoebe.
At 13 weeks?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's why I thought
Yep,
she was
exactly.
older.
Cow, you named it.
But the vet said that by her teeth, she just is still only 13 weeks. He said
Wow.
at 14 weeks, she should start to lose her front teeth and get her permanent ones.
Hmm.
And she hasn't gotten any permanent teeth.
Steve, how many dollars did I earn so far? Did you count?
The toy. We're going to have a heck of a donation in the rescue pretty soon, Linda. So now, when she gets adopted, that's very good advice that Roman has because you'll be able to be more consistent when you get her home. So, Cat is just fostering, and fostering is short term. So, well, she sure is adorable. And,
She is. And, you know, she had come a long way in the last week and a half with her potty training because she had zero potty training skills when she got here. And like I said, you just tell her how good she is and she will do anything to make you happy. And so we take her out and she potties and tells her how good she is. She gets a treat. And now she kind of expects it.
okay. All right. Kat, thank you for bringing her bringing her on and going through this with her. I mean, fostering her. I mean,
Yes.
so now you can apply for her at GPRescue.com. Now, Linda wanted to address something. Speaking of applying for dogs, we're going to keep you up if that's all right, Kat.
Sure.
You up for it? Okay.
Sure.
We're going to let Linda address something that she talked to me about earlier.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Steve, I'm not going to say who sent the email, but I
No,
would
that's
like
fine.
to read it and break it down.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, on a couple things. We don't usually address these sort of things, but, I just felt the need. But the application said that they were happy that our puppy had found a home. And they asked if we could remove their application from our huge stack of applications. She said, I'm assuming since it's taken a while to hear back from anyone, there are many people with loving homes waiting for a dog to become part of their family. I sure hope that these dogs aren't missing out on that because someone feels the need to make them bend over backwards by going through a long application review. My hope is that these dogs always come before someone's ego or power trip.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
They don't know you.
yeah. To break that down, first, I want to thank them for applying in the first place. Applying for a dog and being approved is what gets our dogs into homes. I want to add that we are volunteers. Every day that we do what we do is because we choose to, and we do have our own lives. I also had COVID all week, so I was very sick. Not to mention ego. I mean, ego or power trip, that honestly, I've thought about that. I don't even know how to honestly even respond to that. Our application process, and I've mentioned this a million times, it's there for a reason. You must meet the requirements. You must have interviews with me and Reagan. You must be able to pass a vet check. If you don't like those requirements, just move on. That's all. You don't need to send us emails telling us that we have a very big ego or that we're denying dogs good homes. We've adopted out over 200 dogs in the past year, and they've all went to wonderful homes. So I'll end it here. Make no mistake, every single one of our dogs go to loving, wonderful homes. So they will never be denied that.
Right.
So
I would like to add something.
thank you.
Most of you out there don't see what we see in rescue. All right. You don't want to see what we see in rescue. Okay. And those of you that have, you understand where we're coming from. The dogs will not go back to a situation even similar to that. Okay. The adoption process here is, I think, very fair. And that's it right there. It's very fair.
It's this.
Fair
It's
to the
this way,
dog.
Steve. I always say this. Look, when you apply for one of my dogs, it feels to me that you're applying for one of my children. So, or one of my children are going to a daycare or nursery school. What would you do if your child was going into a daycare or nursery school? Would you check them out? Would you make sure they were okay? Would you make sure that no one had a felony background? Would you make sure that they had experience and that they were loving, responsible people? Of course you would. That's all we do too.
Yep.
We don't do things spitefully. We do them because we'll never, ever, ever let that dog go back into a situation that they came from.
That's right.
Never.
Now, It's all about the dogs.
You bet.
So last weekend, Linda went and picked up a dog herself. And the one thing she said when she was done is that I do this because there's so many times that I don't understand what my fosters and the people who do the transporting go through. And it's heart-wrenching when you're picking up a dog. It is heart-wrenching. And
Yeah. And I did, and I called Kat because I felt so incredibly bad because I was looking at the dog in the back seat of my truck, and the family placed the dog in the truck and didn't even say goodbye. So man, that was just heartbreaking for me. Not even a goodbye. And here's this poor dog in the back seat of my truck and not understanding where she was going or what was happening to her. Man, I'll tell you, Steve, that just really rips at my soul, because they don't know. To me, they're like babies. They can't help what happens to them. They have no say in their own lives, and that just kills me. And I said to Kat, I said, I have a whole new, every time I do this, I have even more appreciation for my fosters and my transporters because they look at these poor babies in the back seat, wondering where they're going, what's happening. Where's my family? She was so sad. Man, it's rough. It really is. So then you send emails like that. I mean, come on. It's not like that.
No. And like you said, everybody's volunteers. And we're all busy and we have our own life, but here lately it's the volunteer life has been the rescue.
Yeah.
Right? And our talking point tonight is going to show you a little part of that. Okay. And but I felt that needed to be addressed. And when Linda asked if I thought that would be something, I said, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely address that, because we're not calling anybody out. All right. No names, didn't even give the dog's name. We're not calling anybody out. We're just letting you know that it's not what you think.
No, it's not. It's not anything of what you think. An adopter asked me last night, she said, do you mind if I asked, she said, do you do this full time? Is this your full-time job? Yeah, it is. Yes. Absolutely. When I wake up in the morning and I grab my coffee, rescue begins.
And your grandchildren.
At night, rescue ends. And then
you have grandchildren too.
And I have grandchildren and children and a home and a husband and, a life.
That's right.
But I give all of my time to this, so.
Because we have to save these dogs because, well, somebody has to. And I'll tell you what, she went into a state that is kind of a hard state. Okay. Starts right at the top with the government, and it's a hard state for rescue. And she's making a difference here. The Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri is making a difference. So, I don't know how else to put it. Nice work, Linda.
Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you.
I want to add something to that. Thank you, first of all, Linda, for putting it nicely out there. I used to be on the home visit end for future adopters. And actually, I have video footage of visiting a home for one dog. It was so dirty and filthy in that house. I went to the car, went to the next store, bought myself clothes, and took my clothes off and wear my new clothes. It was so dirty in there. And of course, I called the rescue and said, no adoption to this house. And I told them the reason, I sent them the videos, and still the person didn't understand why not. People just don't have dissociated sometimes.
Yeah.
Or people are strange. People who actually harm dogs have their children and neighbors adopt the dogs for them, giving the address of the President of the United States in the questionnaire. Really?
We haven't had that, Roman, but
Well,
Oh, now you
maybe
will.
me.
Thanks, Roman.
Always double check the Google address and check it out, because
Yeah,
somebody
we do
probably
that.
might.
We do Google Images. We look up the houses on Zillow.
Yeah.
We do background checks too, on the person. And then I think the most important thing for me through my process is that I do my own interviews. I don't have coordinators to do that. I do that myself. And I've said it before. I feel like my adopters are my family. I mean, there's just
Yeah.
no question. I can call any of my adopters at any point or text them at any point and ask about the dogs, and there's never an issue. It's a gut feeling you get. You can have a gut feeling about someone. Some people don't have it, but
Right.
I always say, man, it's just in my gut sometimes. And most of the time on that, I'll pass.
Yeah. So that being said, that we're all volunteers, we were kind of busy, and we're going to show you with what. Okay, this is our talking point, and be prepared. This is not pleasant. Okay.
What the fuck? Oh my god, he just was barking at you and he attacked me.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What the heck happened there? Okay. So, brief history. The dog came in last year from a person that was leaving the country, couldn't take the dog with him. For all practical, everything we knew about with this dog, it wasn't our dog. Okay. It wasn't Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri's dog. The dog was surrendered because the person was leaving the country and there was no way to take this dog. All right. And he was neutered, if I remember right. And it's just a good dog. And no one ever saw any of this until a situation where he went to another home and came back emaciated 4 months later. Okay.
Ouch.
And
Wow, I get goosebumps right now. Like
yeah.
literally. And you
Yes.
can see it. Like,
Yep. There was one other incident where he was in a different home for less than 48 hours, in the bathroom with a 10-year-old child, in the bathroom, and turned around and nipped it or bit at the child's back of the head or something like that. And they obviously brought the dog back. I would too, probably. And these folks here have been great. They stuck this out. A few years ago, or a few years back, Roman got a scratch on his hand. And what happened, Roman? You almost lost your arm over that.
yes.
Okay.
And it was just a little cute dog who
Yeah.
actually took a treat of my hands a little bit more than he should, and literally scratched me. And I was like, just like that, like I always do, right? And then 3 days later, my hand was 3 times that size.
Yep.
And I couldn't even drive to the hospital.
Yep.
And I was still making fun of my wife. I was like, look how big treats I can hold now, right? And the vet said, the doctor said, well, by the end of the day, we're going to see how many treats you can hold with your other hand.
Mm-hmm. Her
And
the bite was in her right hand. And they went to urgent care later on, a little too long. And usually when you get bit by a dog, they give you augmentin as an antibiotic. It's a very powerful amoxicillin. And she may have waited too long, but she had to go back to the ER, and they put her on IV antibiotics, and she's back home now. She did bring the dog back, and she got to take another dog. These are great adopters. I mean, it's an amazing play. It was great working with them, and we're going to continue to work with them, Roman and I, because this isn't normal behavior from this dog, and we think that it can be healed. Do you agree?
Yes, but
Yeah,
yes, but um, as from a behaviorist perspective, and let me clarify: there's a trainer, there's a behavior consultant, there's a behaviorist, and there's a veterinary behaviorist. Okay, these are, we can't call them professionals because they do it for money, but up to the behavior consultant and up, like, then there's education behind, and a veterinary and a behaviorist and a veterinary behaviorist, they have years of education behind. It's not just people printing cards. So if you have behavior issues, is defined by a dog does something for a reason, okay, and we need to understand why that happens so it doesn't happen again. It's not about obedience, it's not about making tricks, it's about something can get wrong and somebody can get hurt. You need a behavior consultant at least, right? And there are trainers out there who are very skilled and do a great job, but they don't have the educational background to find the details that make that dog survive or this person not getting hurt. Make sense? But that's my opinion. I don't know if people.
The cat's out
Unfortunately,
of the
the industry
bag
is not
now.
regulated.
Yeah,
so whoever
I
can go
see
out there.
that. I see that from
Cat's out of the bag,
PureRescue.org.
and I can probably give you the dog's name. His name's Little Bear. Okay, and he's just a little guy.
So Little Bear bit a couple children.
Yeah, but I don't think those were even True Blood, if I remember right. I thought it was only one child. Correct me if I'm wrong, Judy, or Nancy, whoever's commenting on that. This dog.
So my question is, why for the I'm sorry, just to go back, why was the dog in a small bathroom with the child?
Well, that we don't know, because here's my opinion. That dog was in a safe place, and that safe place was invaded. The sofa that you saw, in my opinion, think about this. You get a new dog. The dog jumps up on the sofa first thing and goes to the corner where the back of the sofa and the arm of the sofa meet. He is protected from the back. He's protected from the arm of the sofa. Nothing can come this way. Nothing can come that way. And he's
Steve,
got
do you mind showing the video one more time?
Sure. Okay. I will do that. Now, leave the warning down. I think Roman did that. Thank you for that.
What the fuck? Oh my god, he just was barking at you and he attacked me.
Did you notice that dog was not backing down?
Yes. Yes.
Did I hear right? The dog was barking at him and he attacked her.
Here's what happened.
Good.
That
makes sense.
They have a keypad to get in.
Oh.
Beep, beep, beep. And then the doorknob turned. She moved her head away because his face was in her face. She moved away, and then the attack.
Right. It's well-directed aggression. That makes sense because I was missing that comment. I didn't hear that comment. And knowing now what happened,
and I got busy, and I apologize.
Yeah, that lines up. Okay, now I get the whole picture.
Oh, and I forgot about this part. He's scared to death of squeaky toys.
Oh.
Beep, beep, beep,
oh,
beep.
No. Hold on. He's scared of the beeping sound, which means that dog has been eventually work on a collar.
Ah, okay.
Right there, Roman. Right there.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah, we didn't shock them. We just had it on tone.
Yes.
Right.
Yep, nothing wrong with shock collars, are there?
I saw a comment in the training thing today, and I didn't even want to look at the comments because I somebody suggested that they put a shock collar on one of their
You
dogs.
report those comments to the admins, no matter which admin you are. At least you get it off your chest.
You know,
Yeah,
I
if
missed
they're in
that one,
rebooted,
Roman.
cat, report those because I delete them right away.
Did you delete it?
No, he get booted. Boof.
I didn't see
Just
it,
like
but I'm
that.
sure one of the other moderators would. If it was reported, we can't see. I mean, there's
Which
like
group, Kat?
there's like I don't know, 20 million people in rebooted.
The owners and training.
I always, if I see a comment like that, the first thing is I report it as dangerous. Voila.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just not
According to the
following that
first
one.
owner, he got scared of squeaky toys after visiting a dog park. Judy, that makes no sense.
That
Yeah,
that
well,
is,
you know,
what
squeaky
does that
toys.
even mean?
Here's what we need to understand: how training works, especially from aversive training. I want the dog to get triggered, not I. The people want the dog to get triggered so they can correct them for that trigger. So what they do is they trigger the dog to go to an excessive behavior so they can correct that behavior, so the dog avoids that behavior because he will be afraid of punishment. So what do? If a dog goes after a squeaky toy, then you create a squeaky toy and then correct him for reacting on the squeaky toy. That dog, what he gets from that is squeaky toy will harm me. And everything that sounds like that, anything that is out of the ordinary tone, is what makes me scared that I get being hurt and punished. And who does that? The one that I trust. So, beep, 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 and the person is next to him holding his face. I'm glad the dog didn't attack her face.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
And it can go so far that a dog will eventually attack a person who has his pocket in his hands because the person has the shock collar in his pocket. I've seen it.
And when that husband ran out, you know, I'm sure he was upset. I mean, his wife was getting attacked, but
it can be changed.
Man,
He
did you
never
see that
touched the
dog?
dog.
That dog did not bow down to him at all.
It can be changed.
No.
All we have to do is helping the dog going through an emotional reconstruction mindset to feel differently about those bad things that made him feel horrible. But it's a long process, and people don't have faith. So you can change.
Yeah, it is. It is a process, you know. But I think people's initial, you know, when they,
But
I mean,
it took,
when the dog was on top.
if an
top
animal
of his
control
wife.
sees that, he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not the dog's fault.
No, it's not.
No.
As a behaviorist, we have to ask a couple of questions. The first thing, if this kind of behavior comes up, because it can happen anytime, the first question is, does the dog have any medical conditions? My first guess, remember we talked about that? Does the dog have an ear infection? Because I've seen him shaking his head. But shaking the head means also level of stress. I'm shaking it off because it's very stressful. So a beeping tone can make the dog shake his head. A cue telling the dog to sit that is associated with punishment if you don't, the dog may eventually shake his head because his body responds to the cue that will shock him. Make sense?
And you remember the routine that dog did in the video, the shaking his head, the pawing, and wow.
Right? And the next thing we have to do is the aggressive behavior appropriate from the context? And we have to see it from different contexts. The dog on the couch. Yes, it looks like territorial aggression, but hey, wait a minute. That behavior wasn't appropriate to that particular situations, right? That's why it didn't make any sense to me, right? He didn't attack the person who came in. That didn't make any sense to me. So something was wrong with the whole concept. Right. And so we cause the dog anxiety. And the next thing we have to do is we have to see if the behavior sequence can be modified or is modified. Like one day is like that, and the other day is like this. There is a progression or any change in that sequence. Then we have to see the frequency. How often is this happening in the same context? Beep, 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 dogs barking. Beep, 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 dogs barking, biting. But there is a system in there. So we need to identify that. And the next thing we have to look for is the severity of that aggression within a context of appropriate for the context, right? Does it make any sense? I know it's a little bit technical here, but if I yell and scream at the person next to the car and I'm in public, that's different if I do the same thing in my parking lot. Make sense?
You
Yeah,
can get
maybe.
technical. There's a dog's life depends on it.
Right. And then we have to see what kind of aggression was that. That obviously was a defensive,
Mhm.
offensive aggression. It was a mixed aggression. It was defensive. He was afraid of getting shocked. And then it was offensive because he wanted that to stop. But it wasn't predatory. The dog didn't chase the person
It
who
was,
came back to challenge him in return.
it triggered a trauma.
Right. And then we have to see the family composition. Who was involved? What was the relationship of those people involved? So the dog got startled from the person coming in, beep, beep, beep. Eventually, he was scared if somebody comes in the house anyway. So he got startled from that, plus the tone. And then he's like, oh, bark. It's my dad. He felt bad. He
Right.
could see he's like totally confused. He's like getting out of a PTSD response, no clue what just happened.
Remember,
we
you
have-
said you saw signs of displacement also.
Right.
They
And
only
then we
had
have
him
to
5
see-
weeks.
Mhm.
How predictable is the aggression PV? Can we predict it? So the goal of a behaviorist is to find out if I can predict the next event is going to happen, so I can be there changing the dog's thoughts of making a different choice. And then, of course, we have to see, had the dog had the previous trauma, which yes, he had. So can we be fixed? Yeah. How long? I don't know. It depends on so many factors. Can we control all those factors that we mentioned before? If yes, I don't see a problem having a dog changing his mind in a month from now. But will the people who have the dog being consistent, recognizing that we are dealing with a trauma and you cannot have your hands in your pocket and
Yeah.
say beep, beep, beep?
Agreed.
No beep beeps in that house.
No beep beeps. And definitely get that beep out.
Yes.
But we can work on that. It's definitely something workable.
I've been working with behavior in this breed for a long time now, over 30 years. And I am not afraid in any way, shape, or form to say, Roman, will you look at this for me? I need to know set eyes here. I need to see what
Me
you
neither.
Yeah.
okay. So that
Well,
means
even behaviorists need to assess colleagues.
we know our limits.
Because
we
I
reach a
didn't
limit.
see it. I didn't hear it. You are biased. It's your dog. You will like have excuses for it. I don't care. It's not my dog. I can tell it. And all of a sudden you have this data and information.
Mhm.
I'm sure if you have another colleague coming in and he will find something else, like sure, but too many cooks.
Too
Is a
many
problem.
chiefs here, we have a problem.
Right.
So I'll go to the person that I trust the most, and that's Roman. So and I'm not afraid to ask.
But we need to be also aware that you and me are coming from a different angle. It's kind of like a legal statement. Dog is non-aggressive until we prove it, right? The dog is acting in defense until we prove it's different. It's kind of like the French law. You're innocent until you've been guilty, not the other way around, especially in dogs.
Judy wants to know what she can do at the kennel right now, and that's an interesting question because I think we need to move him into a home.
Right.
And
I think we can do a lot of work, prep
there's a
work on
lot,
that dog,
yeah.
right? And start playing with those tones in a safe manner. So get yourself a recording of that, anything that beeps,
Use your
anything
phone.
that makes a tone, exactly, right? And put a big speaker like those Bluetooth speaker that make it really sound volume, like right, not
Her
like
husband is an
oh, right?
electronics wizard.
Right? Plus, holding something in your hand that eventually look like a remote control. That's my selfie stick for you guys, if you wonder, right? And then start working on that and says, you see that? You know what that means? Exactly. That's an awesome treat. And your dog is like, holy bark, I like that. Give me more of that.
Roman, here's a question for you we get all the time. Do dogs sense fear in you and do they respond to it?
What?
let me ask you a question. I have a Great Pyrenees. What exactly was his job? To protect his flock or his herd? How does he know that everybody's scared? Where is the predator coming from? So he needs to feel fear and he needs to feel predatory. And how predatory feels like is sitting on the bus and suddenly you turn around and you see that guy staring at you. That's predatory energy. And it doesn't exist. Then why did you turn? How did you know to turn around and he's staring at you? Right? How do you feel somebody is staring at you and you feel weird about it? That's predatory intention. So intentions is an energy field that moves from one place to the other. It's kind of telepathic. Okay? I don't want to go deeper into that scientifically, but very simple. Your dog knows because A, he can smell it, your hormone changes. B, he can feel it because your vibration changes, because your frequency falls down. Plus, he is aware of your body language. And if you go like this, he can pick that up. He can actually be activated by 1 inch difference of your body language.
That's right.
Between the head straight and the head like this. He can see that because that's his job. He was bred for the last 50,000 years to do exactly that because that's how they survived over these 50,000 years. So
And
no matter what everybody
another thing you can do with your dog on a walk, you can trigger a reaction when you meet another dog by saying, I wonder how my dog is going to act. Well, now you know how your dog's going to act, your emotions.
Yes.
This is how I teach the dog no, by the way. No in relationship to things are dangerous. Do not go there again. So I go towards a garbage bin, which is dirty and ugly. You know, you hate the garbage bins, especially peeing on it and his paw on it, and then he's lay on your pillow. And then I say no and run away. And your dog is like, holy bark, what just happened? And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, what? And then we try again. As soon as he gets too close on the garbage bin, oh no. And I walk away. You'd make it 5 times. That dog doesn't go close to that garbage bin. And then you pair that with a no. No means danger. No means go back where you came from 180 degrees, which means you're walking in the minefield, go back where you came from. So saying no to your puppy means absolutely nothing until you pair it with an emotion, which is danger. Now, if your kids come in the house and your mom, can I have your car? No. And then your dog attacks your kid. Sorry, it wasn't on me.
Lori will remember I was working with Mr. Tibbs that no is a confusion word for your dog, although we can make it mean something. That's what I was talking about, Lori. We didn't have to with this case. But yeah, no, dog attacks child. That's because, well, confusion is confusion, all right? Let's see what they say here. Okay,
Or,
no in
say
English
danger.
or Spanish. They understand it.
In German, it's 9, so the N word.
Yeah, still N-word. Ashley, welcome from Utah. Guardian instinct.
All the dogs, that's how you communicate. They communicate telepathically, emotionally with each other. Everybody, like in a football field, everybody knows what the situation is from the other partner. It's just a feeling.
Wants to know if that's with
I would say
specific peers.
all guardian breeds, basically. We have 2 basic breeds in the world: hunting, scavenging, and guardian dogs.
Yeah.
And then we have all the subcategories.
Yes.
She got that. And Mr. Tibbs is still doing well, for the last I heard. So he was the Akbash in New York that little Sasha put in his place when he walked through the door on a live show. Wow, that was amazing. And so
I so appreciate those people to give her permission to share that video.
yes,
That is textbook there. Like, it has
Yes.
to go to school.
yes, and we did get permission to share that video, and that was awesome. And And she sent me a text earlier thanking me for the work that we had done. And when I started a call with her after that incident, because I didn't know them real well at all. And my call started out, I had Judy on the call with me, was I'm going to recommend that we remove the dog back to the rescue facility, convince me otherwise. And that's how that went. So I didn't, they didn't just, that was a little much there for them. Okay. They did amazing. She'd walk that dog 5 miles a day sometimes.
And we need to also to give heads up to the rescue who actually step up for the dog and says, get him back.
Yep, that's
Because
right. And
I would say
Right
90% of the rescues will give him a vet phone number, put him down.
yeah, no, that's not happening with this rescue and peer rescue in Colorado.
That's my kind of rescue right there.
That's right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because
So hi, Peru. Do you see that? Zola is from Peru.
Yeah.
Welcome.
She's a believe it or not, she's a foster for Great Pyrenees Rescue of Montana.
Awesome.
That's a long way to come get your dog.
Yeah.
I'll do the home visit.
She had to go home for some family stuff, and we hope she comes back. She's a very good foster. She won one of the Martingale collars, and she never sent me the shipping address. Okay, so always remember that. And also, neither did the folks that won it last week or week before last. So now, speaking of the drawing, we're going to have another one. And check out the cool colors we have now, okay? Isn't that cool? Hashtag GPRM, put it in the comments, and we'll have the drawing here at the end of the show, okay? And it's not hard. That's all you do. Hashtag GPRM. So let's get them coming in. You got about 7 minutes to get your entries in. It's collecting entries now, except we don't have any. If everybody has Martingale collars, I get it. We'll come up with something different next week, all right?
Make sure you guys have permission from StreamYard to post your name, because then we don't know who won it and it gets somewhere else. So.
Actually, it won't accept it in the tool if it doesn't have the permissions. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make this easier. I can't post it in the comments because these comments from StreamYard won't go to the groups. It only goes to the pages. So we'll figure it out. Wow, I'm missing a whole. Oh, there they are. Now we're getting some entrants. Cool. Hashtag GPRM. It's very easy. We'll have the drawing here in about 5 minutes and go from there. What a show. What a talking point.
If you guys struggling with your dog and you see anything problematic with your dogs, welcome to reach out for help. Nothing wrong with getting an opinion, right? And even if that's a phone call says, Roman, I have a problem. What's going on here? If you have a video footage, but don't make one happen, right? So don't let somebody get bitten so I can see the video, or Steve. It gives us a lot of information. So if you see that video in that conversation and knowing a little bit of a background, we actually can make a treatment plan that is highly successful, right?
And also, too, sometimes we can learn more on just the dog's every day, how he carries himself. We don't have to see the dog biting somebody. We know what that looks like.
Right.
We need to know what's leading up to it.
We're not focusing on why the person shoot the other person. We know what caused it. We need to change the reason, the thought. So see that it's a thought, it's an emotion, it's a behavior. We don't care about the behavior. We know the emotion behind that, and then we can kind of guess the thought, and that's what we have to focus on.
Yeah, we try, Roxanne. We really, really do. Susan, we try to get the information out there because
all you guys have to do is share it.
Yep, share the show. Absolutely.
Don't resource card our show, right? Keep sharing it. More fosters, more adopted dogs.
Yep. I tell folks all the time, this is a very misunderstood breed.
For sure. Steve, just an update on Betty White.
Yes, I forgot about Betty. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. Betty is doing really well. I believe she's up to 3 3/4 cups of food a day, plus a pound of meat. She's drinking about 5 cups of water a day, which is good because remember she was on an IV. So she's drinking on her own. She knows the sound of the bullet to make her food, so she perks up when she hears that. And the most amazing thing is that her coordination is so much better. She's getting around more. She's, steady on her feet. She's just doing fantastic. Slow, but she's doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Everybody always asks. I mean, we do post updates when we get them, but usually we talk to Ellen every day, and she's just doing so great. I'm so proud of her. She really found her appetite. That's for sure.
Yes. And I'm glad because she had to have been awful hungry.
Yeah, she was. Oh man, she was bad. And and then she went through all the diarrhea, the vomiting, not being able to keep anything down. Just her tummy was just so, such a mess.
This is another example how we can be proactive, active and proactive rather than reactive. That dog, every time she feels hunger or doesn't feel upset belly, she's going basically in a trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So one good active or proactive version is to feed that dog multiple meals a day, the amount of daily value. It can be up to every 2 hours max.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's what Ellen does. She feeds her multiple meals throughout the day. And she's doing great.
That's awesome. Maybe we can get some video for next week, and that would be great because she's a real success story, isn't she?
Yeah.
So
she has a story to tell.
Yeah, I want to see how ornery she is when she starts feeling better.
I can't wait to see her ornery.
I know it. That'd be great. All right. So, Sam, we want to see her live a normal life also. Okay?
Angela, can you bring the dog back in?
That's right. We want to bring some dogs back in.
Had to go potty.
Okay, well, good. And I'm glad she went outside to do that too.
So am I.
Yeah, I bet. At least she's not mouthing you with her needle teeth, right?
Yeah, and we don't get any money. Oh, come on.
Yeah, we don't get any money. Yeah.
And
All right, everybody.
She's
We
not.
got
just one thing. I want to say that Giving Tuesday matched our rescues donations.
Yep.
Yes. That was amazing that we were chosen.
Yes.
So all the donations were matched by Facebook for our rescue.
That's been going on for some years now, and I've never known a rescue that I knew that actually got the match, but our rescue got it.
It
Not
did.
I was excited when I saw that.
Yeah,
That was
I got the notification the next day, and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing. You do Giving Tuesday, but you don't ever expect to be picked.
That means everybody.
There's so many.
That means everybody that created the donation thing for Great Pyrenees Rescue in Missouri that got matched.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sharon, that is incredible.
Yes.
I loved it. So that's how rescues survive. So now, how about we have our drawing? Because here we are, 1 minute till 10, and it's getting close. So
Let's do it.
let's do it. Here we go. Hey, Roxanne, there we go. Congratulations, Roxanne. Look at all of that graffiti. Boy, oh boy. Nice work. Roxanne, send me an email, steve@GPRescue.com. As soon as I find it, I'll get it up here. There I am. Send me an email with your shipping information, and I will, and the size and color. We got a choice between, well, kind of pink, black, or this blue here. So measure your dog's neck and send me some shipping information, what size you want. If you have any questions, ask Steve at GPRescue.com. Thank you for watching our show. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank
How
you for
about
joining
that?
us.
And I want to add for next time, just in case you guys have nothing else to do Saturday evening, I would like to do a second drawing and donate a session.
Well, how about we do that as a
That
primary drawing?
Okay, but you have the right to gift that session to somebody else as well. So if you win the session and you have somebody you want to donate it to, that's okay too.
Who's that behind Cat?
Gypsy?
Gypsy. Is
Oh,
Gypsy up for adoption?
Gypsy.
No,
Not a
Just
chance.
checking.
Not a chance.
not ever. Gypsy rescued
Steve, you-
herself.
We should, next week's show, we're working on the Founders Show.
Yes, we are.
That will be exciting too.
We're going to invite some founders of the rescues, different rescues, onto the show. We're going to shoot for next week, but it depends on their schedules.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be exciting. You're going to get to ask founders of different Great Pyrenees rescues throughout the country questions. And maybe hear how they found them and why. See if they get emails like what Linda received. Compare notes. Ain't that awesome? So
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
there's going to be 4 other rescues that we're inviting on.
Mhm.
And now if they can make it, they can make it. If not, should I go ahead and say who?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we are inviting Peer Rescue and Sanctuary in Colorado, Judy. We're inviting Great Pyrenees Rescue of Montana. That's Carol. We're inviting I better get my pen. Oh, Linda at Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri. And
Really?
And Melise.
No,
And Melise with Great Pyrenees Rescue Society. How about
Yeah.
that?
all great ladies.
Yes, and that's our goal. So,
Working on it.
Great Pyrenees Rescue Society. They're out of Spring, Texas. They cover Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, all the way up to the Pacific Northwest, up by Roman. Okay,
Mhm.
and they have almost 100 fosters. How about that? That's a big rescue now.
Yeah.
A lot of dogs. They've been around a long time, though. Okay.
Here's the thing that people misunderstand when we talk about fosters quickly. One foster makes room for 2 dogs.
Yep.
Okay, if you take that foster away from the shelter, that door is open, 1 dog is being rescued, and 1 is on the way to be rehomed.
That's right.
Okay, so 1 foster saves 2 dogs. Now imagine you take 2 dogs in your home, that opens up 4 dogs.
That's correct.
And
Mhm.
that's pretty much the level.
That's a way to look at that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a very good way to look at that. And then Peer Rescue in Peyton, Colorado. That's Judy Dole and Nancy, and they do great work too. Smaller rescue. They're not foster based. Okay. One of these days we're going to do a show comparing foster based rescues to kennel based rescues, because each one has their advantages.
Sure. There's pros and cons to both of
There are
those.
pros and cons to both. And then
Mhm.
Great Pyrenees Rescue of Montana. Wowzer, that's a small rescue, just like that does big things, and they're battling the lack of animal protection laws in Utah, of all places, and that's where most of their dogs come from, going up to Montana. And they do some good work too. And then our rescue right here, I'll tell you that this rescue does big things. And most of what they do, when the lady said egos, you guys don't even know 90% of what this rescue does behind the scenes. Okay. So So I'm being nice, and I won't tell you to take your what you call an ego and where to shove it. But like I said, you don't know nothing that goes on behind the scenes with this rescue. So, so be nice. Okay. Sorry, I had to.
No, I hear you, Steve. I could not respond to that. I always have Reagan respond to those because she's much more
Civil.
Reagan will tell you to shove it in a very nice way.
Mhm.
I do not have that ability. So I know when to step aside and let someone else handle something.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I apologize. That's out of character for me saying what I just said. But it is when you don't know, then you shouldn't speak like you do.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
And just don't take the time out of your day to do that.
Yeah,
You know.
because we're not going to take time out of our day to worry about that. Okay.
Mm.
So, and a pure mix, right?
I can see the white.
Yeah, me too.
See the white. Okay. All right. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for. Wow. Wait a minute here. Let's see. Okay. We want to read this one. Okay. We're going to fix this. All right. We're going to try to get this going, B.
Yeah.
An easy way. I think the best way I can do this is maybe take that link as soon as I post a show, put it in the comments. You only have to do it once every 90 days. Okay. It does expire in about 3 months. So next week I will do something and make it to where everybody can do this. Okay. So, all right. So everybody, thank you for joining us. And it's time for us to say goodnight. See you next Saturday.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.